Hey guys, it's me again, and this time we are in Naxxramas, and we are doing the last boss encounter, who is Kel'Thuzad. This is the most extremely difficult fight you'll probably ever encounter, except for 3 Jakes Up Sartharian. So to start off, you want everyone to step into this green circle here at the same time, because in a few moments, ads will start to spawn at each of these concoves here, or concaves, I don't know what word it is. And it's easy to die if one person is just standing there. So over the time period of 3.5 minutes, these ads will come to you, come to your circle, and this is a fatty. You want to kill them when they come to you. They're elite. These skeletons here, they are non-elite, and they're easily killable. And these are the Banshees, which you always want to kill first if you're ranged, always. These guys, if they come close to you, they will punt you back, and it just sends you to another concave, and then you get owned. When Kel'Thuzad enters the encounter, you want to clear off all the extra ads you have immediately, as well as trying to keep a range of 10 yards. If you have deadly boss mods, a great command would be /range space. No, that's it. Yeah, /range. So once all the ads are gone, you want to have melee DPS set up in a clock formation: 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. No, there should be very little melee DPS, at least 3, at most 4 or 5. And the reason you want to split them up in a clock formation is because Kel'Thuzad does something called Frost Blast, I believe, which is like a mage ice block. And when he does that, it deals 104% of the target's damage or health. And their health goes down fast. And if this chains, it's very deadly, and you may wipe the whole raid. So that's why you want to have them situated 10 yards away from each other and in a clock formation. The tank is always at 12 o'clock. Make sure your raiders know that. For the casters, you just want to be spread out around the whole room. Make sure you're not 10 yards between each other. And this red thing over here that spawns, when that happens, you want to stand out of that because it'll kill you when it dissipates. A common thing people do is they step to the side of it, which isn't good, because if you get that unlucky frost blast right as you're stepping aside, you may frost blast a tank or 3 other melee DPS or casters for that matter. So you want to stand back, like walk backwards. You have about like 5 seconds, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. For the casters, as I said, you want to be spread around the room by not being 10 yards between each other. Healers, there should be on 10 man, and that's a frost blast, by the way. Healers should be situated 1 on the left side of the room, 1 in the middle, and 1 on the right. And every person should be in range of a healer. Now, I'm going to start talking about the off-tank. The off-tank shouldn't be doing any melee DPS. He could be doing some range, that's fine. But he should be standing off in the corner, just chilling. And at 40%, Kel'Thuzad will introduce Guardians into the fight. And at which point, the off-tank wants to pick those up and tank them away from everyone else while being close enough to receive heals. The reason for this is that those Guardians are very powerful. They have like 1 million health, so you don't want your DPS on them. You want DPS to focus on Kel'Thuzad. The only person that should be on the ads is the tank, the off-tank. What else is there? Make sure that your raiders know that when the tank moves, the main tank doing Kel'Thuzad, when he moves, the raid has to have situational awareness and move with him. So reposition yourselves accordingly. So that way you're still hitting Kel'Thuzad while being 10 yards away from any other person while being in range of heals. Another thing for melee DPS is to always be at max range. So be as far back as you can, so you can still hit Kel'Thuzad, but you're not right up by him. Phase 1 is the part where you're getting all the ads. Phase 2 is Kel'Thuzad, and Phase 3 is the Guardians. In Phase 3, that is a DPS race. That is the ideal time to use heroism and your big cooldowns, because you want to kill Kel'Thuzad as fast as possible, because those ads that spawn the Guardians, every, I don't know, like few seconds they get a buff, and what that buff does increases their damage, and that buff can stack a lot of times. and it eventually can one-shot a tank. So your melee DP or your DPS has to just be going nuts on the boss. Other than that, one thing Kel'Thuzad also does is something called detonate mana, and that just takes away a caster's mana. Another thing he also does is frost bolts, and those are interruptible, so you want all your melee DPS to be interrupting those at all time. If you do not have an interrupter in your raid, then you are probably going to die. Your main tank is probably going to die. And this is the phase where the Guardians enter the fight. Another thing Kel'Thuzad also does is an AoE where he shoots a fire frostbolt at everyone in the raid. That's easily healable through, so don't fret about it. Healers should always be aware of their tank's health as well as anyone in the raid being frost blasted, because you have 3 seconds to react to that frost blast, and someone calling it out over vent or voice chat will not give you enough time to target them, put a heal over time on them or a shield to help them live. And that's what you have to do when the frost blast comes. I think I forgot to mention that. You want to put up a shield or a quick hot to keep them from dying. I think at this point I've covered all there is to know about Kel'Thuzad 10-man. The only difference on 25-man with Kel'Thuzad is that there is, I believe, 3 Guardians entering the fight instead of 2. There might be 4. And also, there will be more melee DPS, so there will be at least 2 or 3 Frost Blasts at a time. And position is a lot more tense. It's like more people are closer together, but casters are always still spread out because you don't want a caster to get hit. You don't want anyone to get hit, actually, like chained frost blasts. Another thing that Kel'Thuzad does only on heroic Naxxramas is he will mind control 2 or 3 people from the raid, at which point you want to have anyone that has a polymorph or fear or anything CC that person until their mind control breaks, at which point they need to get back to where they were previously immediately. So I think that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this guide. I hope you found it useful. I will be putting up more Naxxramas videos, not rapidly, just a few at a time. So I'll see you next time, guys. Next video will be Saffron, the second last boss. So see you next time.